Welcome. In this video, we will define both visa and immigration status and discuss the difference between these two important immigration concepts. The visa. What is a visa? The visa stamp in your passport allows you to travel to a U.S. port of entry and request to be admitted to the United States. The Customs and Border Protection Officer at the port of entry determines whether or not a foreign national may enter the U.S. after examining their relevant travel documents, including the visa, passport, and other enabling documents like the Form DS 2019. The officer will determine whether you can enter the U.S. based on the documents you present and the status you are requesting. What information can you find on your visa? The visa will include your photo and full name. You can also see your name at the bottom in the machine readable zone. You'll want to ensure the name on your passport, visa stamp, and enabling document all match. The type or class of visa will be indicated on the stamp. This is the status you'll be requesting of the officer at the port of entry. Once you've entered the US, it'll also be reflected on your I-94. The number of entries specifies how many times the visa stamp can be used to request entry to the US before a new visa stamp is required, even if the visa expiration date hasn't been reached. If an M is listed, the visa is valid for multiple entries. Finally, the issue date and expiration date are printed on the visa stamp. The visa may only be used to request entry to the US up to 11:59 p.m. on the date of expiration. How do you obtain a visa? You must apply for a visa at an embassy or consulate outside of the US using specific enabling documents that are typically issued by your employer or sponsor. Enabling documents show that you are qualified to apply for a specific type of visa. Common examples of enabling documents used by scientists at NIH include the Form DS 2019 for J1 exchange visitors, the I-797 approval notice for H-1B temporary workers and O-1 individuals of extraordinary ability, the Form I-20 for F-1 students issued by the sponsoring university, and the TN employer letter for Mexican and Canadian citizens. When do you need to have a valid visa? Most non-US citizens need a visa anytime they wish to enter the United States from abroad. The visa you receive will allow you to request entry for a specific purpose, such as school, work, or tourism. Do you need to maintain a valid visa while in the United States? No. Since a visa is only used to request entry to the US, it can expire while you are present in the United States as long as you have a valid I-94 and, in most cases, a valid corresponding enabling document. You will only need to renew your visa if you plan to return to the United States after international travel. Status. What is immigration status? Status refers to the immigration category that allows you to reside in the U.S. When any non-U.S. citizen enters the U.S., they must show that they are eligible for the immigration status they are requesting. Each immigration status has its own specific rules and regulations that must be followed. How do you know what your immigration status is? Every time you enter the U.S., an I-94 arrival and departure record is created. That record will show your entry date, immigration status, and the expiration date of that status. If you change your immigration status while you are in the United States, your status in your I-94 will be located in the bottom left corner of your Form I-797 approval notice until you re-enter the U.S. and receive a new electronic I-94. When does your status expire? You can stay in the United States until the Admit Until date on your I-94. If you are in F or J status, your I-94 should list D/S as your Admit Until date. D/S stands for duration of status, and it means that you can remain in the United States as long as your I-20 or DS 2019 remains valid. Do you need to maintain valid immigration status while in the US? Yes. Each status has specific rules, regulations, and responsibilities associated with it. For example, a tourist will be allowed to visit the US for a short period of time, but will not be allowed to work. Refer to your sponsor for the rights and responsibilities of your immigration status. Understanding visa versus status. Is having a valid visa the same as having valid immigration status? No. People often use the terms visa and status interchangeably, but they are different things. As a reminder, the term visa refers to the foil or sticker that is placed in your passport and is used only to seek entry into the US, whereas status refers to your formal immigration classification in the United States as indicated on your I-94 arrival and departure record. A visa can expire while you are in the US, while a status should not. One way to think about the difference is by using a house and a key metaphor. Let's say you own a house. You also have the key to the house, which you need in order to enter the house. The key is like the visa. You need it to get inside. Once inside, however, you no longer need the key until you decide to leave and eventually wish to re enter. Does a valid visa guarantee entry into the US in the requested status? No. The Customs and Border Protection Officer at the port of entry has the final authority to make an entry determination. If there is something wrong with your entry documents or anything else gives the inspector pause, they may delay or deny your entry into the country. If you have any questions regarding your visa or status, please email dis@mail.nih.gov.